Lock phasers on the Romulans and hold your fire.
Sir, the shields are back up.
Impeccable timing.
Sir, the shields are back down.
Phaser banks are down.
Shields are back up.
In another time and place, this could be funny.
Status of torpedo banks.
They're down too.
If it should become necessary to fight, could you arrange to find me some rocks to throw at them?
Hello everyone, welcome back to Fully Functional, a TNG podcast. I'm Maggie, joined by Jeff and Dory.
Yo.
Jeff and I, God, I hate that.
I don't care.
Jeff and I are huge Star Trek nerds. Dory's a Star Trek novice, and we are taking her on our first journey through Star Trek The Next Generation. Today we're talking about the Season 2 episode called Contagion. Original air date March 18th, 1989. And we'll go to Dory for the recap.
Okay. Bear with me in this recap.
It's very, a lot of plot in this episode.
Yeah. Okay. So, the team's going to see USS Yamato, and the captain is Captain Donald Varley. They are stuck in the neutral zone, and they're having, like, a fuck ton of, like, malfunctions, but, like, all at the same time. And Picard greets him with, "What's a nice Starfleet captain like you doing in a place like this?" And Donald responds, It's good to see you again, Jean-Luc, despite your antique humor." And that sets the tone, and not in a good way. So in their systems failure, like 18 people are killed, and like shit is just happening. Like it's all over the place. They were investigating rumors about like this ancient group called the Iconians. They are like, people think they're legend, but they're apparently were real, but like a long time ago. So shit started happening weird when they were at Iconia, which is like in the neutral zone, I think. And then like they're having a conversation, Donald and Picard, and then like the antimatter chamber like kind of goes crazy, like the magnetic seals decayed, and then the USS Yamato explodes. And it's like it's really upsetting actually to watch.
Yeah, it's devastating.
Yeah, it was pretty fucking rough. And like
the director actually intended that. They want there were a lot of moments in the original series because they only had one Federation ship model, so they would just use that over and over of them like having a ship be damaged and show that the threat was real to the Enterprise. But this is the first time that we in TNG have seen a ship as big as theirs, and something happened to it right in front of them.
Yeah, because I believe the Yamato is the same design as the Enterprise.
Yeah. So
now they have the budget to blow up multiple models.
Oh boy. So then like the Romulans show up, and Picard's like, "We're not leaving until we figure out what happened to the Yamato." And they think maybe it was a design flaw or something. And Picard goes through Donald's personal logs, but to me it looked like YouTube videos, like sit down YouTube videos. So I kept having it like expecting like, "Hey, welcome to my personal vlog," and I kept like half expecting Donald to be like, "Rate and subscribe."
Oh jeez.
Click that like button.
But the lighting isn't anything like that.
I don't know. It's just the sitting.
Turn on the bell for notifications.
Yeah, it's just the way he was sitting. Just because I think like we see Picard, like we hear him do his logs, but like I never see like the video of it. So just seeing somebody sitting there talking to the camera like that just makes me think of like YouTubers.
Yes, that's true.
So yeah, just don't forget to subscribe, guys.
Yeah.
So apparently like a probe had scanned the Yamato while they were orbiting Iconia, and so then Picard's like, "We're gonna continue on with the mission, let's head back there." And then Wes comes in, and this is probably the most like nice conversation that I think Picard and Wes have ever had, which just was like low key, and he's just like, thought they were myths and legends. And then Picard is like, yeah, well, I have like an archaeology interest, and yeah, I've studied a lot about them. And then Wes is like, yeah, so also, by the way, really not feeling cool about like 1,000 people dying in front of me.
Well, to
And
be fair,
Fred's like-
Picard's the one that calls him out on that.
Yeah, he's like, tell me why you're really here.
Yeah.
And then Wesley admits it.
While the episode is very plot heavy, they do a very good job of that point specifically, hammering it in that, like, this is something that is, not only was it, like, scary for the audience to see, and, you know, here's our big action scene, but holy shit, like, everyone is affected by that.
Yeah, I mean, it's pretty, like, right there. So that's pretty upsetting. And Wes asks, like, how do you cope with all this? Because you didn't seem like you were affected. And Picard's like, well, you know, you just sort of have to deal with it, and you should never really get used to it, per se. And, like, he stops in the middle, though, because he goes to order tea. But then a plant comes out of the machine instead. So they were like, what? So they realize it's not a design flaw, basically. To sort of sum up the whole thing, the probe had like computer program stuff, and when it scanned the Yamato, it like took over their computer system, because like they had two, but then they just like went in. But now the Enterprise is being affected because Picard opened the logs. So now there's like shit going on the ship, and they're like, okay, we need to like, Picard wants to like pull in the probe, and Geordi realizes, oh, bad idea. So he tries to go through like through the turbo lift, can't get in, then finally goes through another one and goes on the fucking ride of his life in the turbo lift.
Roller coaster.
Oh, and he also gets like a Velma from Scooby-Doo moment where his visor comes off and it's like, where's my visor? Where's my visor? And then he gets flown around, and I was like, oh my God, Geordi. That was like, he really got thrown around in there. And then he gets like fully thrown right out onto the bridge, and he tells him to blow up the probe. So yeah, so the ship is kind of going a little crazy town, but because it was let in, like the stuff was let in through the logs, it's taking over the systems much slower. So but because of the explosion, I guess people got hurt and whatever, I don't know, on the ship. But Dr. P is very overwhelmed. She's angry. Stuff isn't working, and a guy's like, it's not, this machine isn't working, and she's like, use a splint, and this man is horrified, like, that's caveman practices, not even medical. And she's like, it's an ancient way of fixing whatever. And I was like, please stop it.
Yeah, seriously.
Just,
That,
I hate when
I
do
felt
that.
so bad for that nurse in that moment. Like, that guy was entirely casted just to be Pulaski's punching bag. That's it.
Yeah. Because I think the indication is supposed to be like, it's the equivalent of like today if someone said like, use leeches. And it's like, here's the difference. Leeches didn't do anything.
Yes.
Splints actually do work for the intended purpose, you know? And to be fair, like, Star Trek has a habit of calling everything like ancient.
Yes.
But I think a splint, I think the concept does date back to actual ancient times.
It does, but, like, we still use them now, thousands of years later.
I know. Believe me, it's a dumb moment.
Yeah.
I agree.
Yeah.
It is a dumb moment.
Also, like, why were so many people hurt?
Because random accidents. Okay, look at how Geordi was thrown around.
Yeah, but like everybody was touching computers.
Well, computers run the whole ship, right?
Yeah.
There's just like a whole bunch of like accidents and a whole bunch of things malfunctioning, so it creates dangerous situations.
Yeah, I think besides security, every single person's job on the ship revolves around regularly interacting with a computer or an electronic instrument.
Okay. So Jordy then is like, okay, we know what we need to be doing. So he decides to like try to access the main program and gets electrocuted. Data like throws him basically off the board.
Makes some real weird faces.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think it's like he forgets how strong he is
Yeah.
because he just is like, oh shit, wait, I did that. And then Jordy's okay, which is nice. And then they decide we have to go down to the station on Iconia. And Picard's like, I will lead it because I know shit. And he goes down with Data and Worf. Meanwhile, they put Riker is in charge. And so they go down on the planet and Troy... so they're down and then the Romulans show back up. And then, like, everything's malfunctioning. Same with on the Romulan ship. So, like, you know, shields are going up, then phasers and torpedoes, all that shit's up and down. And then Troy goes, in another time and place, this would be funny.
Yeah, ironically, because the audience is laughing at that point.
Yeah.
Can I just interject for a moment to say that the entire following scene of... Actually, I think it's 2 scenes of Riker being in command of the ship. I really appreciate those because we haven't seen Riker as the commander for a long period of time in any longer moments that I can think of in the show at this point. And I like command Riker. It's different than regular Riker. He's less laid back about things. He's more serious, but like he's really confident in it, and I appreciate seeing that.
Yeah, except when he yells at that lady when it's not her fault.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, because he's like, if we should, what is it? He goes, if it should become necessary to fight, could you arrange to find me some rocks to throw at them? It's like, it's such a good line.
Yeah.
And it's delivered so well, but it's also like, she is not doing anything wrong.
Yeah.
Well, calm down, bro. Oh, also, the Romulan ship looks like an ugly fish.
Oh.
Yeah, Romulan design never looks good.
What? I like that ship. I forget what the design is called.
Romulan?
It's called ugly fish. No, I'm kidding.
No, that's specific. The it's a warbird.
Yeah.
Yeah. I like Romulan warbirds.
I like the exterior of them. I don't like. I think the lighting on the bridge is really neat, but like the way that they do all this like angled stuff and the really bizarre like muted color scheme that I've never appreciated that much, which sucks because I like Romulans, I like their uniforms, and I like the exterior of their ships. It's all the interior stuff that I don't like.
Oh, I assumed we were talking about the exterior.
Oh, okay. Yeah, the outer design of it I absolutely love. I think that it was probably my favorite ship when I was younger.
Yeah, that's why I was surprised to hear you say that, because I'm like, wait, you thought you liked Romulan ship design.
Yeah, just the interior. That's what sucks, the interior.
Oh, yes, it does.
Okay, so then Riker asks Troy for advice, and she has some good advice. It's just like, keep people busy. That's something to focus so they're not like freaking out. Okay, so now we're on the Iconia planet, and there's all this stuff with language. There's like 3 languages, and Picard's like, oh, maybe it's related to Iconian. And then like Data's like, it is, and some other junk. And then Data's like, oh yeah, I figured out some like simple words to translate. And for whatever reason, Data thinks manual override is like a simple word or something.
Actually,
No, he doesn't think it's a simple word. He just thinks he figured out what manual override is.
Yeah.
Well, no, yeah.
The method that Data uses to essentially like triangulate a root language, that's real. That's a thing that we actually do now.
Okay. I mean, I don't know much with languages, but just the way he went about this was so funny.
It was. This episode in general inserts a lot of humor in places where it doesn't belong.
Yeah, but I didn't mind it personally.
Oh, I don't mind it. It's just it's not that it's jarring. It's just that it kind of removes from the fact that this episode has 2 things that it's trying to go for. One of them is tension, which is immediately broken up by humor at so many parts of the latter half of the episode. And the other one is mystery, which is usually kind of muted by the attempts at tension. And I found that disappointing. I still like the episode, but it being really plot heavy, there aren't a lot of things to connect with it that well when you're focusing on trying to be tense and not necessarily succeeding at it all the time.
Yeah, I think
didn't
they
get
kind of
that.
lost me. Like, I didn't mind the episode. I think it just lost me here and there because it just got very, not technical, but just, they get into, I guess, like the techno babble of stuff, and they lost me in and out of this episode.
Trek will do that more and more as we go on.
Cool. Looking forward to it.
But yeah, that language thing is, like Jeff said, that's at least a real thing.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, anyways, the manual override is not correct, and he opens up a gateway, and then they start showing like screens of the gateway, and it's like a beach. It looks like the Pantheon, but I'm also not entirely sure it's the Pantheon. And then there's like mountains and a few other places, and then oh yeah, you see inside of the Enterprise, and then I fucking screamed.
Yeah.
I called my mom. I was like, have I got news for you? And I screen capped it, and I'm gonna I don't know what I'm gonna do with this picture, but I will treasure it for always. One of the places in all of the fucking world, one of the gateways is fucking Nathan Phillips Square
Yep.
in Toronto.
An old city hall.
Yep. Do you know?
Like,
do you know why they chose that?
No.
I imagine
What?
it's because of the dumbass city hall.
I mean,
Because
sort
it looks
of.
spacey.
Yeah, that's exactly what it is. It's supposed to look alien.
I was screaming. I was like, oh my God. I was like, Picard, please go to Toronto. I was like, what of all places? I never think Toronto's going to be in anything or mentioned.
Yeah.
It's never anything in anything. Even in movies, sometimes they'll be like, oh, they'll mention Montreal. But Toronto never gets a nod on purpose. So to show Nathan Phillips Square was just wild.
Yeah, I always found that
what?
so
Oh my God.
funny.
Yeah, so that was kind of a really fun moment that honestly kind of took me out of the episode because I was so excited.
That's fair.
I was like, I know that place. I know that place very well. I can literally see it from my home.
The thing is if you don't know what building that is and that it's in Toronto and that it's City Hall, it just looks like some weird alien building.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's another one of those later on in the series where the building that they used for Power Rangers for their home base in the original Mighty Morphin Power Rangers show is featured quite extensively in a two-parter in later TNG.
Ooh.
Yeah, and that it's the building right there. It's actually been used in several sci-fi shows, specifically in the 1990s, because it just looks so bizarre and alien looking.
Oh, cool. Oh, I'm psyched.
Yeah. And in case anyone doesn't know, City Hall in Toronto is wild. It's three buildings. It has the center building is it's a saucer. It's like a UFO. It looks like it's all white.
It's often referred to as the pod.
Yeah. I always called it the saucer.
That's fair. And it's that's where city council actually convenes, in this big circular pod room that you can see this dome on the outside of the building for it.
I kept calling it Old City Hall for some reason. No, it's New City Hall.
Current City Hall.
It is
Yeah.
a new city hall. I mean, it's twice as old as we are, so
yeah.
but-
Yeah, I think they built it in the 60s.
Yeah, because Old City
Yes,
Hall
they
is across the street.
Oh, no,
Yes.
beside it.
Yeah.
Old City Hall's beside it.
Yeah, but I think there is
Just to
a
the east.
street.
Yeah, there is.
In between.
That's Bay
Yeah,
Street.
Bay.
Is in between.
Bay Street.
Yeah. Anyway, and then it has two buildings on the side, which are curves. I don't know. It's they're bracketing the saucer section.
Yeah, they essentially are.
And they're two
big
different
brackets.
heights.
Yeah, one of them is taller than the other. It is very 1960s. Let's build something out of so much concrete.
Yeah, it's a very 60s, 70s building.
Yeah, it screams the era. It is as ugly as it is extremely iconic for Toronto.
Oh yeah, I love it.
Nothing looks like it anywhere.
Yeah. No, I love it. It's so dumb,
And
But
if
I
you
love
watch
it.
the episode along with us, you can see Toronto City Hall too.
Yeah,
Or
it's-
just look it up on Google, whichever.
Yeah. It's the gateway immediately after the Enterprise, which is also great.
Yeah, I think
very
just
special.
you're not expecting to see it.
Can you tell that we're arrogant Toronto lovers?
Well,
It's why the rest of Canada hates us. Because we love
That's
ourselves.
true. Everybody hates Toronto.
Yeah. Well, that's what happens
Okay.
when you're the New York of Canada.
Yeah. Okay, so then Data, so like the power source thing, like goes a little wonky and hits Data with the like electricity, and Data starts to like malfunction. His systems are kind of failing, and so Picard and Data kind of play like Mad Libs in a way to try to like figure out what to do. And Picard figures, okay, so we need to basically blow it all up. And so Worf takes Data through the gateway that goes to the Enterprise. And Geordi comes to try to see what he can do for Data, and he mentions Bruce. He mentions
yeah.
Bruce.
He does.
And I
I'm
was
surprised you caught that.
Yeah.
Oh, I will he said Maddox, and I was like,
He
excuse
did say
Geordi,
Maddox,
shut your
yeah.
mouth. Geordi, I love you, but no. Never call Maddox. Never call Bruce.
Like I said, it won't be the last time.
Ugh. Fuck you, Bruce. I literally wrote in my notes, Geordi mentions Bruce. Gross. So then, like, Data dies, and I was like, no, he doesn't. No, refuse. I object.
Maybe if they hadn't
There's
been
no way.
inserting so much weird comedy into the episode, you might have taken that moment more seriously. Do you think?
No, because
I don't-
he's because I'm sure because I know he's in the like more of the show.
Yeah, maybe
just-
they'll make
I-
another Data.
I really
I don't
disagree
think they
with you
would.
that the comedy is awkwardly inserted.
Well, then fight me. I don't think it's
I will.
awkwardly inserted. That's not my argument. My argument isn't that it's awkwardly inserted. It fits with the script, but it breaks the tension that they're trying to build.
I don't think so. I really disagree
Okay.
on that point.
I mean, it's subjective. Tension in general is subjective. So we can
guess.
have different opinions, and there we go. And if you would like to see
Yeah,
us
but you
fight to
stated
the
as
death,
fact.
well,
You stated as fact, which it is
okay,
not.
I'm sorry. That's my opinion.
That's my opinion!
And if you would like to watch us fight to the death over this opinion, please watch us get together on the set of that one Voyager episode that features The Rock.
Oh, I love Dwayne the Rock Johnson. Okay, so okay, so then Data obviously wakes up because the thing is blowing up, and oh yeah, so then like the conclusion is, oh, so because Data like shut down, but then he wakes back up, they're like, what if we turn it off and then turn it back on again?
Yep.
It's like, you guys.
Okay,
you
as funny
guys.
as that is, I would like to point out that this was written in 1989. Home computers were still, $5,000 to $8,000 in most cases. The concept of turning it off and on again to fix it was not only new to like the average person at home, it was not widespread at all.
I'm not laughing so much as that. It's just like they've had to turn things off before as a conclusion.
Yep, that's true.
Like and the weapons one on that planet when Beverly was like, turn it off.
Yeah, but now it's turning it off and on again.
Well, yeah, because they want to turn it back on.
Have you
But
tried
yeah,
turning
so
it off
I
and on
just-
again?
Yeah. I wrote in my notes, never fails.
Yeah. I like it because I guess you're right, Jeff, because at the time that this episode was made, that
Yeah.
wouldn't have been an as obvious a solution as it is to us now.
No, especially not to people who weren't working with actual computers all the time, but were writing cutting-edge science fiction that's speculating about the future.
Yeah. And, like, antivirus is apparently not a concept yet.
Yes. Yeah. Well,
They just
this
let
would
that
have been.
Iconian virus run rampant.
I think 1989 would have been the year that the first web page went online. So yeah, the concept of a virus did exist, but it was only in like little BBS groups at that point, and
Yeah.
like that was extremely niche.
Oh my god, that's why they called it Contagion.
Yeah.
Because there's a virus.
Yes,
Ugh, I'm gonna
that's
smash
exactly
my
it.
head on the
Yeah.
table.
I mean,
goodbye.
Hey, Star Trek dealing with viruses, except now it's a
It's a
computer
computer
virus.
Yeah, and I think, like, back in the day, it's like someone would have to give you, like, an infected floppy disk.
Yes.
Ugh.
They'd be like, hey, check out this cool shit. And you're like, okay. And then it fucks your computer.
Rip to
Because
floppy
I think,
disks.
is the internet still just a military thing at this point?
No, it's like I said, the first web page went online at this point.
Yeah.
The majority of publicly accessible internet that wasn't like connected to the universities was BBS groups, which are they're kind of like IRC message boards. Is the closest comparison I can think of.
Okay.
Yeah, like a combination of IRC and a message board. Like you had to log in to it, and BBS they were bulletin boards essentially.
Yeah.
So think like you're posting like a forum post or something like that,
Yeah.
and it's all going into the same thing, and people are commenting.
Yeah, I guess in, like, like Reddit.
Yeah,
In, like, the most recent.
yeah, that is actually a really good comparison.
Yeah.
So yeah, very early Reddit kind of thing.
Like MSN groups.
Not quite. Not quite. More compartmentalized than something like MSN Groups was, because like everyone would have to host their own BBSs if they wanted one. Like it wasn't the Star Trek BBS probably wouldn't have been owned by Paramount until like the mid '90s or something like that.
What's a BBS?
That's what I was telling. That's what I was telling Maggie a moment ago. The
It's
bulletin
the thing
board
we've been
groups.
talking about this whole time.
No, I know, but like, what does it stand for?
Oh.
Bulletin board script, I think. I could be wrong on that. BBS was a little
Okay.
bit before my time, unfortunately.
Okay. Well, some people might know I'm really, really technologically challenged.
That's fair. I will
am
look it up
really
right
bad with
now.
computer stuff.
Bulletin board system. There we go.
Yeah,
Okay.
bulletin board system.
Okay, so close. We're almost done with the recap. Okay, so then like Data, Geordi and Riker are like off to turn stuff off and turn it on again, and Data's like, "May I help?" And like everybody's gone. So then like Picard, everything's exploding, and he's like, "Okay, what's like right there on the gateway?" And it's the Romulan ship. So he pops on. Commander Taurus is like, "Hey, we're on auto destruct. You did this," and he's like, and O'Brien is able to get a lock on Picard and like takes him out just in time. They send Commander Taurus the stuff to be like, yeah, shut down and start again, get rid of the shit on your ship. And then Picard's back and everything's fine. The end.
Yeah.
Not gonna lie, that moment of him on the going over to the Romulan ship instead was a weird moment.
Yeah.
Yeah, I sort of get it.
What a
If-
choice.
I wish they'd done more with that. Like, I like the idea that, like, he just has to escape and the Romulan ship is the place. Like, he can't wait for the Enterprise to pop up on the gateway thing.
Yeah,
go to
but that's what I
Toronto.
mean about it being
Yeah.
weird, in that it added like a little bit of extra tension to it, but yeah, they really didn't do anything with it.
Yeah, because he's on the ship for, like,
Yeah.
5 seconds.
Yeah. And he doesn't do anything while he's there except deliver a one-liner while he's being beamed away.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's like, I think not.
Mm-hmm.
Bye. He doesn't say bye.
Bye.
He just like,
Because she's like, we're on self-destruct and we can't turn it off, but at least I'll be able to see you die
You'll be
along
with
with us. And then he gets beamed out at that exact moment, and he's like, not this time, sucker.
Owned.
he goes, hasta la vista, baby.
Yeah.
And disappears. Can you imagine, though? Picard saying hasta la vista.
No, I can't. While the episode definitely has some weak points for me, I do enjoy it, but I enjoy it more because I like Star Trek lore I think. As an episode, there were definitely points where I was just like, this could be trudging along differently than it is. And
Yeah.
I don't know. Much like my opinion of it, my feelings towards it were all very subjective, and I don't even know if I could explain all of them. But I would like to give the writers credit for one thing. The whole idea of here's this super advanced race is something that is usually really hard to make believable to an audience. Like usually they come up with some sci-fi stuff that's outdated after 5 years or something like that within their own series, and doing something where they created like this they created like an accessible piece of technology, something that we can understand. We can't possibly understand how it works, but this teleporting gateway that can go anywhere in the universe is a really accessible way to convey that this is a race that was at least far beyond our own understanding technologically. Mm-hmm. And that's my opinion.
I liked this episode overall. It's a very it's not like the most amazing thing ever, but it's a very easy watch.
It definitely is, yeah.
Yeah. I really like the beginning when the destruction of the Yamato.
Yeah.
I enjoyed Data figuring out the languages kind of thing. The computer stuff just seems dumb to me.
Yeah, it is kind of dumb.
It's why...
it makes sense, but
Yeah.
it just isn't compelling.
Yeah, the thing is why would you design a probe that rewrites over the person's computer system?
So, yeah, they definitely didn't do a good job of explaining that here, but there are other moments in Trek where they do something similar, and their explanations then I like better, because it's usually something like the computer is more advanced than ours, and it's looking for a way to communicate / interface with us, and it can't do that with this language barrier, so it's screwing with the systems instead. But in this case, they didn't explain that.
Yeah. Yeah, they didn't explain that, and it just seems like the purpose, even back then, when it was supposed to be active, it's I don't see how this is a useful thing for it to do. If you're trying to play it off as though these people weren't hostile, actually.
Yeah. I do think that is a neat plot point, and they don't do anything with it, really.
Yeah, they don't do anything with it, and also their explanation of how they came to that conclusion is really half-assed.
It definitely is.
Picard's just it doesn't feel like they were that way. It's okay, but that's not evidence.
Yeah. I mean, they could have very easily just gone with the point that that Data made, that this doesn't look like a military installation. It's not built like one. It's not built to send large amounts of troops through, and yet this technology exists.
Yeah.
So what function did this serve?
Yeah,
and
exactly.
Just going by that logical conclusion, you can come to the same point, but they didn't. They went with Picard's gut because he's into archaeology. Fun fact, this is the first moment of Picard's archaeological interest, which comes up several times in the future.
I like that.
I believe this is also...
It is also...
Sorry, go ahead.
Maggie, I know what you're gonna say. Yes,
yeah.
It is his first moment saying "tea Earl Grey hot," which is another of Picard's well-known catchphrases that has permeated through pop culture over the years. However, ironically, this time he doesn't actually get a tea unless you count a bunch of undried leaves to be the tea, which is possible.
You know what I love is that they put a little door on the replicator so that they didn't have to do the effect.
Oh, God, yes. Yeah, that is the first and last time that we'll see that in TNG, I believe.
Yeah.
I am intrigued about more archaeological stuff.
There is one episode in particular that really hones down on it later on in the series. Ooh. That Adam and I realized it's much earlier on than I originally thought it was, so you'll get to come across it sooner than later, which is nice. But yeah, it does come up several times in the future.
Yeah.
Ooh. When I was a kid, I wanted to be an archaeologist.
Oh, cool.
So that appeals to me. Yeah. Well, let's just say I didn't
Let's just say I
I
didn't.
didn't apply myself in high school. Let's just put it like
Okay,
that.
I wanted to be a paleontologist when I was a kid.
Yeah.
I did not do well in high school.
I
Fair.
wanted to be a lawyer when I was a child.
Oh, jeez, I'm sorry.
The classic child
Yeah.
ambitious profession.
Because I watched a lot of Law and Order, and that's literally the whole reason.
Hey, coincidentally, I watched a lot of dinosaur media, so there we go.
I used to take out books about mummies from the library.
Aw, you took out books about your mommy.
Yes. I had
I'm
two
very
interests as a child. One was ancient Egypt, and the other was like sharks and
Oh, yeah?
octopuses, octopi. I don't know. I could just look at tons of pictures of sharks and octopus and squids. I don't know why I was so into that.
Yeah, why not?
Maybe that's why I like
cool.
the Meg so much.
I think that's why your favorite show was clearly Mummies Alive.
No, my favorite movie is actually The Mummy, 1999.
Oh, talk about another theme song that slaps.
Yes.
Oh, Mummy's Alive? Yeah.
Yeah, earlier before our session began, we were talking about like childhood cartoon theme songs that like are absolute bangers.
Mummy's
It's
Alive.
alive.
Yeah, the Mummy's Alive one is real good.
Oh, yeah. Oh, my God. I haven't thought about that show in a long
So,
time.
can we talk about something that I thought was not well delivered?
Yeah.
I was very
Yes.
much taken out of the episode by Brent Spiner's performance after Data is compromised by the alien computer. It is like, I know he's going for the I am a robot, I don't have control now, but it doesn't come off convincing. It comes off to me like a cheesy 1950s I am a robot. And I could not shake that feeling his entire time doing that, which sucks because Data's great in just about every other moment in this episode for me.
It didn't come off that way to me.
No? Okay.
The way I quite liked it because to me it felt like someone struggling to communicate.
I think maybe it just felt too familiar to me.
I guess. Yeah, I just didn't it didn't feel that way to me.
It's okay,
I,
you don't have to agree.
I think I'm somewhere in the middle. I think it was okay, but at the same time it felt a little hokey. And I think I had more of a problem with Picard's responses because some of it was like, yeah, no shit. Like, what else do you think you're like supposed to be doing with these? Like, he would say one word and I'm like, obviously you're supposed to blow it up. Whereas like, what else are the options? And then later he's like, oh yeah, I have to blow it up. And I'm like, Picard, I have to like throw something at you. My God.
I think that's
So
the writers like overly explaining it to the audience.
I definitely
Yeah.
agree with that.
Yeah.
It's like duh.
I think it was like a little too like hokey than it really should have been for the stakes of the scene. I didn't think it was bad, just I don't know, it just didn't feel like it had the right tone for a scene that was like, you know, stakes are high, people are gonna die.
I definitely would agree with that.
I guess that's why I don't have a problem with the tension breaking, because for me it didn't break the tension.
All right.
I think it's also I didn't find it funny. Like there's a bunch of things in here that I thought was funny and great. I just found it to be distracting more than anything. Like they're frustrating. It's just you're making things overly complicated by guessing stuff that like I'm not explaining this the way I'm thinking it in my head, but it just
Like what's an example?
Oh, I don't remember the lines. For once I didn't write down an entire scene in this episode.
It's okay. You can paraphrase.
I can't remember what he says exactly, but like at one point he just says like power source or something, and Picard's like power source, and I'm like, obviously, like what else do you think he's gonna do? You obviously have to blow it up.
Yeah.
Like what talk to it? No. Like what do you think the options are? This thing is like, that's always the thing, is to blow it up. That's always the conclusion in this sort of thing, right? So it felt kind of silly because like Data sort of slumped and like saying kind of nonsense, and Picard is kind of like fiddling away. Like it just felt kind of silly.
Yeah. That's fair.
To me.
Yeah, definitely.
just tone wise, because like the rest of the episode, any like funny bits, like it doesn't bother me. I think this was the only part that just kind of threw me off a little bit.
Because to me, I don't think it was supposed to be funny. Like, I don't think they were trying to make, like, I don't think it was a purposeful gag at that moment.
It just feels hokey. So maybe not like funny, like lol, laugh out loud funny, but like it just felt kind of like shtick in a way, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
But not an effective way to do it.
Yeah.
I think what frustrates me about this is that I guess the first half of the episode, I really enjoyed how they were building up the tension. I especially noticed how strong the music choices were. There's a moment, I think it's right after the Yamato blows up, where they've got like a synth going that they've worked into it's a really low synth tone that they've worked into the regular orchestra, and I'm just like, man, this is fucking quality music. It's standing out so well to me. And it goes right up until I think what is possibly the best scene, or best directed scene in the episode, where Geordi is explaining to them that their ship is fucking up now too. I think it's his second big like meeting room scene. And I don't know if you guys noticed in that scene, there is a lot of camera movement. There is a lot of like hand movement. And I'm just sitting there watching it, and I'm like, this is fucking great. This is like serious drama that I am taking very seriously, because they're all taking it very seriously, and the camera movements and the directing are helping with it so much.
Yet there was one shot that I do remember where it went across Data. It just like,
oh yeah, the one where it comes out from behind the chair that's in front of him.
Yeah.
And the camera is moving so much in that scene.
And it just was really nice. And I just remember thinking that's a nice shot.
Good shit. Good shit.
Yeah.
So, do we have any favorite moments? Oof. That will be an oof from me.
Oh, okay. I do like Riker's like snappy, not like the response of like, if it should become necessary to fight, could you arrange to find me some rocks to throw at them? I did like that. Riker in charge is fun, although he didn't have to be mean.
He didn't have to be, but he did.
Yeah, he didn't have to be mean.
But I did like that line.
Yeah.
I don't know. This episode was fine.
Yeah.
But I'm good.
It may seem like I'm defending this episode a lot, which like is unintentional. Like, I don't mean it to sound that way, because I just like, I like this episode, but I'm also not like I don't have like super strong feelings about it. I liked it. It's good. I think it's good.
Okay.
I think it's solid, good. But there isn't anything that like stands out, I don't think, to me. I just
that's fair.
thought it's a decent watch. Some of the details like is what I disagreed about, but overall I think we're probably all on the same page.
Yeah.
Oh, I just remembered. Okay, I liked the scene when Picard actually has a proper conversation with Wesley, where Picard isn't shitting on him in some way. He's just actually nice to him.
Wesley, son.
The boy.
Yeah. I like I don't know why they did this, but I like when Geordi gets like electrocuted by the thing and Data throws him on the ground. And then Geordi's just lying there and he's like, Data? Yes, Geordi? And then I forget what he asks, but they just have this like awkward back and forth, which is really funny.
That was funny, but I didn't understand why they went with it. It was such a strange choice to me. Because it's basically slapstick comedy. The only point that I ended up writing down and remembering was, Sir, the shields are back up. Sir, the shields are back down. The disappointment in Wesley's face when he delivers that line was like peak humor to me. And that's about it.
With that, I suppose we should get into predictions for the next episode. So, your next episode is called The Royale. And your little hint is is that the gang visits a casino in purgatory.
Oh my god. Oh my god. Everything about that sounds great.
Oh.
Oh my god.
All right, good.
Oh god. Oh my god. I don't even know how to expand on that. Oh god. That's just great right there. Okay, so I'm gonna assume the Royale is the name of the casino.
You can assume whatever you like.
Mm-hmm.
Or
Don't second guess yourself.
I'm just thinking of Casino
deliver it.
Royale. No, it doesn't have to be called the Royale because I don't think the thing's called Casino Royale in the movie Casino Royale. So I don't know what the fuck I'm talking about. Now, I'm gonna assume there's just a city called Purgatory, and not like or a planet called Purgatory because I can't. Because if they are in purgatory, like Dante's version of purgatory, that would be so funny and terrifying.
Well, it's up to you to decide.
Okay. Well, they don't often do cities names in this, really. I guess it sort of tends to just be the name of the planet. So, the whole planet named Purgatory, what a bummer. Okay.
We are now orbiting Purgatory 3.
We just start calling all the planets numbers.
Well, that's actually something that's really common in Star Trek. It's always, here's the system name, and the planet is system name plus number, which means it's the third planet in that system.
Yeah.
Okay.
It'd be like, it'd be like Mars would be Earth 2.
Ew.
No, it would be Sol 4.
Oh yeah, I guess it would be.
Yeah, Earth is Sol 3. It is, Earth is referred to as the Terran system and the Sol system in Star Trek on a few occasions.
Oh, true. Well, no,
Wow.
like that's the whole system. That's not the planet. So not calling it.
Yeah, sorry. Not
Yeah.
Earth is referred to. Our star system is.
Oh,
My mistake.
yeah. Our solar system. Gotcha.
Okay. I'm not going to guess that they're there for fun because God forbid anybody does something fun that's not on the holodeck. Do I want to be tropey about it?
Oh, be as tropey as you like.
I'm just like, I have kind of an idea, but it's real stupid.
That's fine,
That's
man.
okay. Run with it.
Okay, Ocean's 11. Okay, so, but like, I can't see them really stealing anything. But I just keep thinking casinos. Like, I always think heist. And I don't know what says about me that when I think of casinos, I think heist versus like gambling or like shows or whatever. I always think heist.
Yeah. I mean, you've seen how dumb this show can get. So.
Yeah. But I've learned I can go dumber with my predictions.
That's what makes them so fun.
Okay. I've got an idea. So let's say, so they go to Purgatory, which I'll say is a planet. Not the literal purgatory. Oh, I suppose that's not literal because we don't.
Not the figurative purgatory.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the figurative purgatory. Let's say Dante's purgatory.
I mean that it is the literal purgatory or purgatory.
But okay, so they're on I'll say the planet is called Purgatory. For oh my god, maybe that's oh my god, I just had a whole thing. Okay.
Good.
Because like what maybe it's because the like laws there are a little different because casino, like if you're gambling, isn't something with that like one of the not sins, but isn't there like what's the categories?
It's a vice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So is that like I might just be like messing this up in my brain. Okay, let's go with I'll just say what my idea is.
Are you thinking of like the 7 deadly sins?
Yeah, but is that like the levels of purgatory? I don't think it
No.
is it?
No.
No, it's
No,
not.
so like I can't remember what they are.
Or you're trying to remember the circles of hell?
Maybe, because maybe that's like they have, because that's why the casino is there.
Because purgatory is a level on its own, And then if you're talking about like Dante's
I'm thinking
Inferno.
I'm thinking of different levels of hell, not purgatory.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm going too far with that. Let's just stick to my idea. Okay, so they're on purgatory, and one of the team, if I were to guess, I would say Data, because his obliviousness, and we know they like poker. So they're down on the planet for whatever reason, and Data wanders into a casino, and he tries to bet, and something goes wrong. So he gets, like, put in casino jail. And the team has to, like, bail him out, but they won't take, like, the money they have, so they have to, like, play at the casino
gamble to get money
to
out.
bail him out. Yeah, to bail Data out.
That's really funny.
Casino jail.
That's really funny.
That's, after all that, that's what I got.
Yeah. I like it.
I'm looking forward to this episode, actually.
If you want to see if Dory's right, watch along with us and join us next time for Fully Functional, a TNG podcast.
Goodbye.